Hello everyone, and welcome to a new episode of LostinTranslationmon. This time we're covering Digimon Adventure: 2020, episode 36, Operation Satellite Sniper. And also, of course, Happy Valentine's Day, because that's a thing that happened during the day today. So, of course, my galantines that are joining me this week are the lovely Quinn.
Hi!
And the equally lovely Evie.
Heyo!
And with that, on to the show. At the start of the episode, we just have Koshiro just floating through space, and it's sort of reminiscent. Yeah, I'm so into this. Like, it very much reminds me of the Vaidamon episode where we had Kabuterimon's debut.
It's definitely a callback to that, and I dig it because it doesn't do the same exact thing. It's just kind of vaguely a reference.
Yeah, and it's just sort of, it's not so much him physically floating around in space, but this is his headspace almost. Like, we see him later on in the episode when he's having some thoughts about himself as a person, and it's just sort of him thinking, like, this is where he goes to think. This is like his mind palace. So,
the John Locke conspiracy.
Yeah, it's very empty. Yeah, it's very empty for a mind. Yeah, but I like it. It's just space, and I really love this. Like, and it also was surprising. Like, I expected us to either go into a previously on or straight to Taichi existing, being the main character. So it was kind of surprising that we got Koshiro looking really cool and it floating through space. And I was like, well, this is either a really good or really bad trip, and I don't know which one.
Yeah.
Like, there's something happening.
This was wild.
Yeah, it reminds me.
I dug it, kind of.
Yeah, I dug it too. Like, the first chunk of the episode is really great with a lot of things. I guess we'll get to that. Uh-huh. So we have Taichi calling out to Koshiro because we have to have Taichi now, and then we see that the human world is having issues, as we would expect, and Houston has a problem. And I'm honestly surprised that we have people in Houston and Moscow speaking fluent Japanese and not English, but at the same time, we'd have the
it'd be way too much, and they'd have to subtitle it, and I'd be making fun of it.
Mainly because, it'd be, please tell Mum Emmy we're going to the summer memory from Hurricane Touchdown. So, and, I don't think I've heard that much English being in an anime that actually sounds, good. Off the top of my head, I cannot remember.
It's very rare. I think Gravitation maybe did it. But that is a throwback.
Yeah, I think old ones did. I mean, was there English in Evangelion? Because I remember there was German in Evangelion, and it sounded fine.
There were occasional English words,
and
you'd get the odd funny one like emergency. But, it was mostly
with the
fine.
A, yeah. It's just, so yeah, I'm fine with them speaking fluent Japanese, but it is sort of...
It was a little jarring when I realized that it was legitimately just NASA talking to Moscow. All right, we're just doing it this way.
And then we had an actual... Yeah, and then they were communicating with somebody who had a Japanese name and looked more Japanese than the rest of the animated cast. So I'm assuming they were communicating to Japan.
Yeah. Oh, that's actually...
they're all
That's actually a good point. What if just, that conversation? We can be fine with that.
Yeah, I mean, I know that astronauts have to be fluent in English and Russian. Mm-hmm. Maybe they also have to be fluent in Japanese. But, I mean, again, this
it's
universe
a bit much, but the idea that they would all know a language in common is certainly not out there. I'm fine with it.
Mm. Yeah, I'm fine with it. If they were just saying... I mean, the fact there was a Japanese person that they're also talking to makes it a little less weird than just sort of these Russians and English have one language in common and it is Japanese.
Mm-hmm.
That thing just seems kind of strange. But anyway, as soon as they introduced a Japanese person, yeah.
As but anyway, doesn't understand Japanese, I did not notice or care that they were speaking Japanese.
That's fair. But I mean,
I just read the subtitles. That's all I'm here for.
They are speaking English if you're reading the subtitles, that is true. But, we'd have another, Please Tell Mama Me, and I don't think we should ever go back to Please Tell Mama Me, because it took me so long to realise it was Please Tell Mum, Amy, we're going to the summer memory. Which, again, what is the summer? Anyway, different season of Digimon, but anyway, so that's a thing. So we have Koshiro reunite with Taichi and the others.
All these years.
Because it's, it's just different. I don't know, it's just something that I couldn't stop thinking about until I realised what was said, and now I remember it every so often. And sometimes I just find myself saying, please tell Mummy me we are going to the summer memory.
Yep,
because it's
fair.
just fun to say.
Oh, I do it too. It
puts a smile on my face.
How long we're still doing this. Not only in terms of this episode, but also how many years I've heard you talk about this joke. It's just kind of adorable.
It makes me, I don't know why, it just puts a smile on my face, even though, like, the Japanese version of that was... anyway, on to the actual episode. We have Koshiro reunited with Taichi and the others finally, and we get the children looking at fossils, and I don't want to rag on the animation too much, because it wasn't that bad this time, but Biomon's head looks weird. Like, the spike, the sort of almost spikes, sort of plumage, sort of feathers going out of her head seem a lot, like, less out and more, like, sucked in, and it just threw me off a bit, but it's barely a thing, but it's something I noticed. Anyway, we have how Tailmon explains about how Digimon don't just fight over good and evil, but for survival and pride, and that's, like, a really interesting concept that we're just sort of throwing in there.
We've glossed over this so many times, but we're gonna do alternate evolutions based on whatever the situation calls for. So I'm expecting we're gonna get a lot of one-offs. And I'm super here for that.
Which is great. I'm super here for that because guess what? It's also different to a lot of other things that we've had in the Digimon anime. It's following the virtual pets almost. How we have like, oh, sometimes we'll get this evolution, but other times we'll get this evolution. And it's cool. Like, it's just a nice sort of thing to throw in there. And then I just, in general, really like how the concept of evolution is touched on just as like an entire concept. Like, we found fossils, and I'm kind of worried that this whole thing will never be relevant again. How we've got fossils, we've got, like, Digimon that didn't adapt and maybe perhaps died out because they didn't adapt. Or we've got ones that adapted. Like, if we think about, like, human evolution and how humans have adapted, like, yeah, I'm here for it, is what I'm saying. And I hope that's relevant again. I wouldn't be surprised if we're just sort of...
It's the band-aid over why alternate evolutions happen and we don't need Digimentals. And I think we're just going to keep mentioning it so that the kids don't forget. We're also weirdly doing the science season, and I'm also here for that and deeply confused by it.
Oh yeah, I'm enjoying like the science aspect of it too. But there's part of me that thinks that this will never be relevant again because, again, I don't want to talk about this season compared to like the original season too much because in general they are different seasons. But we had Genai tell the kids that BlitzGreymon wasn't an incorrect evolution, it was just a possible evolution that is dependent on care.
Mm-hmm.
And the fact that was never really mentioned ever again.
Oh, yeah.
It was just sort of, it was mentioned that episode.
Yep.
And then they sort of said, oh, so that happens.
To the series, we guess.
Yeah, like, this season seems to be actually sticking to it. Oh, like, yes, we do get different evolutions. We have Pegasusmon. Like, Patamon said, I can't become Angemon, but I can become Pegasusmon. Like, that's cool. We're doing something there. We have Koshiro later on this episode saying, oh, MetalGreymon evolved differently because he adapted to the situation. And I'm like, cool. Like that concept. Do more of this season because it makes it different from what we've had in previous seasons. We've had armor evolutions before, but that wasn't so much like a Digimon can just evolve in different pathways. It was like a Digimon evolves this way when we introduce this evolution thing. And as we know, any of those Digimentals can work with any of those Digimon. They don't necessarily have to be set to a certain amount. So that makes it feel less special. But in this one, it's just different evolution paths, and it's more like the virtual pets. And as I think I mentioned every single podcast that we do, I love the virtual pets. And in fact, we've had a few people tweet at me and comment at me saying, yeah, you've made me want to get into the virtual pets with how much you're gushing over them. To which I say, yes, please do. Especially if you like BlitzGreymon, who debuted in the version 20th. Which with the version 1 and 2 egg, which were the original version 1 and 2 versions, which were separate versions.
Can I be real?
Yeah, well, just
I don't care about this new Greymon, like, at all.
Oh, yeah.
This is like the 20th Greymon.
I think he's fine.
It's the 20th Greymon, and it's Greymon. The most literally just a Gundam.
But the thing is about BlitzGreymon is that on the version 20th, there's Taichi's egg and there's Yamato's egg, and those ones are only unlocked if you connect to 5 other Digimon Virtual Pets version 20ths, right? So
that's stupid.
So the Metal
but okay.
Greymon, yeah. So the Metal Greymon and the WereGarurumon not WereGarurumon, but WereGarurumon's not even there. That's Skull Greymon. Both evolve into other Digimon. So we have Metal Greymon, who evolves into BlitzGreymon, and it doesn't evolve into War Greymon. He only evolves into BlitzGreymon. And then it's not Skull Greymon on the version 2, it's Metal Marmimon on the version 2, which evolves into something else which we've not seen yet. But anyway, I really like the virtual pets. I really think they're cool, and it's the only reason I don't hate BlitzGreymon showing up is because it's kind of nice to have him debut in the anime.
Yeah, but I'm fine with... I hope that we are not going to get, 2 more alternate evolutions and be done forever. And I guess not having checked the VPET, I guess I can't be certain that there isn't more from there. But I still have to think that there's got to be another version coming, because this season is about few things, if not selling merchandise.
Well, on the Digivice toy, there was BlitzGreymon. That was one of the Digimon that I mentioned.
Yeah,
that
I
appeared.
Remember that.
But also, the Digivice didn't have Ultras mode and Sagittarius mode.
Sure.
So that's just the sort of thing I was like, so it's not one-to-one what's showing up in the show, but it is enough that it's...
pretty close.
Yeah. We've basically seen everything that I've not wanting to mention out of fear of spoilers, the other one being Pegasusmon, and now we've got BlitzGreymon, so I guess everything is showing up in a way. Still not sure about the other one. I can't even remember if I said the other one, because I wasn't sure if it was actually a spoiler or not, or a reference to the original Digivice. I think I might have, but just in case, I'm not going to mention it. But, yeah, anyway. So, back on to the...
XV, yeah.
Yep. No, it was just regular Veedramon.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Which is, again, probably a reference to the original Digivice, where you unlocked Veedramon if you connected to the Digimon Analyzer toy. Anyway, I have a lot of knowledge about virtual pets and Digimon electronics.
You probably spoke
a lot of thoughts.
At least 6 different Digivices, and I don't
There are
know.
so many, and I'm supposed to pretend to care about any of them, and I'm
so sorry.
Oop.
There are 2 different series of virtual pets that are coming out next month. One is a Digimon Fitbit, and you can get All-Force Veedramon, and I'm going to be the fittest of the Digimon tamers, and I'm going to have All-Force Veedramon. I'm just so excited. And the other one also has a Dragon Fruit Digimon, which is the best thing ever, and also Ancient Arismon, and also...
Here lies air, gold of heart, dumb of ass.
Yeah, evolved to All-Force Veedramon, had a good day. Anyway, so yeah, that was a tangent. I like virtual pets. Surprise, surprise, I talk about them basically every time. Yeah, who knew? It's a little secret. I basically said on Discord earlier, if this episode's bad, I'm just going to talk about virtual pets. And then this episode wasn't terrible, and I'm like...
Gotta do it anyway.
Yeah. We have Tailmon then basically saying, and this is just me writing down... not for word what he said, but my interpretation of it. Hey, we should probably do a plot instead and address the giant pillar of light in the room instead of doing some world building.
It's my favorite line. It's let me pull it up because I have the screenshot.
Yeah, it's good. It's a good one, and that's basically what she says, because she's like, "Hey, let's do a plot."
I think what's important now is that pillar of light.
Yeah,
you know what? She got me. That
got me too. Everyone's just completely distracted by the fact that we've got to do some world building.
What a weird thing to... Okay, just execution-wise, it is so weird that we stopped to talk about the dinosaurs before we stopped to talk about the bones. And I know we always forget about the bones, but there was a giant pillar of light. Tailmon has to be just exasperated by these children.
Yeah, they're just talking about random things that are probably a really boring topic for her.
Literally Tailmon just has to go, this world is still a world. Things just happen sometimes.
I love this part.
I'm really into it and really wish that any of this mattered.
Yeah, basically. Like, it was definitely a highlight of the episode for both the world building part and then a character saying, hey, kids, why are we talking about world building? Who cares? We've got plot to happen. It's great.
It's so much. I love Tailmon. Tailmon is a walking dictionary now, and I don't know why.
Yeah, well, and also I'd like to point out that I don't think Hikari talks this entire episode.
A little bit.
Because she's not allowed to have a character.
But no, basically.
But Tailmon is her character, and it's better than nothing. Like, Tailmon's actually kind of great. Like, we just have her as
no Hikari,
she has
only
information,
Tailmon.
Which is fine. I'm fine. And then we have Koshiro saying, "Yep."
Sorry, I'll let you move on.
Yeah, no, yeah. No, you can continue if you want.
I was just making more dumb jokes. So let's move on with the
dumb
synopsis.
Jokes are good though.
They are.
Dumb jokes fuel this podcast sometimes.
That's true. Evie was on fire, and then we started recording.
Yeah, you woke up.
I did a little bit, but you should carry this episode because I'm only doing it by habit.
Yeah. And I'm just alive because I'm talking about virtual pets. As soon as, I sleep until virtual pets are mentioned, mostly because I think most nights I forget to mute my Digimon and all of a sudden they start evolving in the middle of the night. I'm just like, what's happening? What's happening? Especially when they decide to die and it's just a high-pitched beep and I'm back on that virtual pet business again. Have you considered that
maybe you don't actually need sleep studies, you just need to get them all muted?
But I mute them and then but then I just sleep the whole time. So at least I have something waking me. They're my babies.
That's fair.
I really like virtual pets, okay? It's my personality now. Anyway, so we have Koshiro, then
7 virtual pets.
Oh, sometimes more than 7. At once I was running 20.
Yeah, but I think I might need to buy that shirt for you.
How do you even own 20? Are there even 20 different ones?
Yes, I own 137 or 150 or something. I don't know. I have a list.
What is wrong with you? Why?
I don't know what's wrong with me.
You have a dog, mate. Stop neglecting your dog.
You have a house.
I don't neglect my dog. That's the thing.
Invest in that the way you invest in Digivices.
We got.
You know what? There's the episode
insurance.
title. You have a house.
I do have a house, but also when we got home and contents insurance, my partner was like, we'll say $1,000 was your Digimon collection, and I laughed. It's so much more than that.
You're gonna need to insure that for 10.
Yeah, it's probably worth as much as my car. I don't have a really flash car or anything, but it's a car.
A virtual pet, mate.
Watch me try.
You wouldn't download a car. You wouldn't drive a virtual pet.
Look, I would absolutely... If I could have a car by downloading it, I would absolutely
Everyone would download a car. That's what made that ad amazing. Who wouldn't download a car? Yeah, you would do all of those things.
If you could do all of those things online, you would definitely do them.
You do basically download a car. It's called Uber.
I think I described Uber, but I also described. I'm doing well already. Can't wait for that outro.
It, huh?
I described the dark net as well.
Yep.
Anyway, so back to the episode. Koshiro sees that the pillar formed after a battle between some huge Digimon, and the top of the pillar is a singularity, and it's outside of the digital world, and it's breaking into the network part, and that's how they can communicate to the human world. And I'm just sitting here going, this would be a really great, way that they can go back to the human world when they need to go back at the end of the season. So I wonder if this pillar will ever be relevant again.
No.
Meh. They've kind of just gone home when they felt like it anyway.
Well, they just took them home.
I'm still mad that we haven't eaten at Burger Jack. Also, someone bring me a burger. Anthony, why have you not brought me a burger yet?
Well, Uber Eats does exist.
Yeah, but it's 3 a.m. and there's a blizzard.
Oh.
So I'm not doing that to anyone.
I forgot that blizzards exist.
Yeah.
Outside of, video games.
It's an Activision Blizzard.
Oh.
I was going to say it's a Dairy Queen, but, ooh, I guess. We don't
have those here. We have, Hungry Jack's has Storms. Anyway, what if Mimi has just, with all her money that she has from the Fight Club, she's just opened up a Burger Jack, digital world franchise, and that's, her future job in this universe. Oh my god, that works. With her, future thing of being a chef, If she just opens up a burger shop in the digital world
/ fight club.
That would be... How would that would be the best... Everything to do with
she
Mimi
opened
and
up
our,
a biker bar.
Mimi. Oh, and then she gets Bancho Lilymon instead of any other evolution. Yes,
it would make so much sense. It's an evolution to fit the circumstances. It's perfect. Oh my god, we wrote the best season of Digimon. You're welcome.
And she's in the high school gang, and she's got she's got the mask on, and she's got
she's got that I'm gonna step on you energy.
Pillar of light.
That's the best. Anyway, Pillar of Light. The Pillar of Light in the room. So Koshiro says that the data that is distorted by Digimon can also be fixed by it, and then explains how we're going to divert the satellite rather than destroying them. And I know that I must have been thinking about servers, because I wrote IIS instead of ISS so many times in my notes. So there's only 20 minutes until the IIS passes through the snipe point. Thanks, I meant the ISS. Anyway, so we decide
6 weeks to figure out that they could shoot it.
Yeah, and we're going to devote a few minutes to have Agumon evolving to Greymon, and then Koshiro says he'll support him, and then I thought at this point we'd get Tentomon evolving, but instead it's just Greymon to Metal Greymon, which takes up another minute of their time. And then we've got Biyomon, Patamon, and Tentomon evolving quickly in beams of light. And then Koshiro says there are now 5 minutes remaining, which actually checks out. That was 5 minutes of evolutions. Would have been more if it was any other season and we just have, the long animation scenes.
Time is an illusion.
Yeah, although, God, I wish we would get rid of ties. I don't care about it. No one cares about it. But they spent too much money on it not to do it at every opportunity, and I hate it.
Yeah, I love the quick ones. The quick ones, the real-time ones where you just see them evolve, as part of the screen. I love that. Especially when they can evolve at the same time and they're just sort of
give me more body
changing.
horror. If we could spend 2 minutes of every episode watching them evolve while destroying things, I'd be so here for it. Commit to your premise.
Yeah, well, it's been 30 minutes and we finally brought up body horror, so that's the Lost in Translation bingo card for our tick body horror. Yeah. I was thinking about that before we started recording. Was there Vor this episode? No. Well, Bergemon did eat a knife.
You know what? You're not wrong, and it was a sentient knife. So I think that's another F1 for the episode. Very little Vor.
She used cutlery. So we have Komodamon doing the most adorable howling goodbye, and it breaks my heart because that's my dog every time I leave the house, because I have security cameras inside that watch my dog, and he's just howling, and so this part just broke me. So that was sad. And also, an interesting thing that I noted is that Tailmon doesn't evolve. She's just choosing to travel by Pegasusmon. And I'm kind of wondering why she chose not to evolve. It doesn't really say. I'm kind of worried that she's just going to be an evolution that we pull out when we want to win.
Yep.
I'm kind of worried because we just did not have Tailmon evolve this entire episode, and she did use her holy ring at one point when Metal Life Kawagamon shows up later, but
I think
it was just kind of
you can't. It's kind of tricky to animate Andromon carrying Hikari everywhere, I guess.
Yeah, but Hikari could still be traveling on another Digimon, on Metal Greymon.
Yeah, could just hang out with anybody else and pretend Tai still matters as a character now that he found the only other important character.
It was kind of weird. It's not really a huge thing because we did just have her
Give
evolve. Maybe she's
Tailmon
tired.
the goggles. Cowards.
I mean,
yeah, she should have the goggles.
3 things and you have, even 4 things. You have a bug, a dinosaur, a bird, and a horse. Which one are you most likely to ride?
Probably the horse.
There you go.
Yeah, definitely not the bird that decides to erupt into fire, because still.
What if I save the horse and ride a cowgirl?
I like that. But I still would like them to show us the characters while they're traveling on their Digimon have orbs around them, just so they're protected from being on fire. Orb. I don't understand. Why isn't Sora how is she not burnt to a crisp?
Sora is flame resistant.
She's wearing shorts, right?
They're comfy and easy to wear.
Or maybe it's her hat or something. I don't know. But I just want them to say, "Oh, it's secret Digivice power."
Her hat is a magic hat. This makes
seen
it is a magic
Digivice power plenty times.
You know what?
I know, but I don't.
She bought the hat right before she got to the digital world. I 100% want them to show up at the end to say it's a magic hat. And I forgot to tell us.
Unless they 0-2'd it and this hat just sort of appeared on her when she came to the digital world.
No, she explicitly mentions buying it.
Oh, did she? Oh, yeah, she did. She had like a bag of shopping. That's right. I forgot about that.
Because she used to have a much better visor that made her look extremely golf lesbian.
I missed that visor. I loved the visor. It was so extra. I loved it.
But the hat is the only thing to take damage this episode.
Yeah, that is true. But it's magic. It takes all the damage. I don't know. Something, plot, power, physics. I don't know. We have Blade Quagmon shows up, and I think the Blade Quagmon's never been animated, and it's always just been a hilarious design to me.
I had no idea this was a thing, but alright.
Oh, it's a thing.
It's cool.
I've seen, I think the first time I noticed it was a thing was in Digimon Heroes, which is the one of, it's not available anymore, but it was the free-to-play official Digimon mobile game, 6 years ago, I think it came out, and it was pretty okay. It was fine. It was just like a match 3 of these cards that match the color and do the attack.
Yep, I was fine, except
with Digimon skin.
They really, really wanted me to pay for all the gems.
After a while, they released more stuff, and they gave you more gems for free. So they made it less pay to have any enjoyment, but it was very much like, I think Rearise is better because it's got more, and Lynx was better than Heroes, but Heroes was fine. It was very, if you wanted a quick,
a hot take, all
Digimon
mobile games with microtransactions are garbage.
Oh, they are, but they're free. I like them because they're just things I can do. Anyway, so Blade Quagmon is exactly what it says on the tin. It's a Blade Quagmon. It's basically just an electric knife that flies through sheer knife power. I don't know. It's got these little tiny electric wings. I don't know.
It's a Quagmon. It's gotta have wings.
Yeah.
Look,
but the thing is,
by all known
this
laws
Digimon,
of aviation, a Quagmon cannot fly because a Quagmon
neither should
does
a knife.
Not exist.
But a knife does not exist.
So
yeah, but they don't fly. But they don't fly.
Mate liberals.
They can fly
anyway,
with this throw.
Who's throwing these knives?
Sora!
That is a point. She does have a knife, and yeah.
Oh my god, can you imagine if Sora just had to, take out the knife and fight one of them?
Oh, I thought that's where we were going when we had Sora with her knife. I 100% thought oh yeah, Taichi likes to fight and punch things, so we just have Sora who just starts stabbing things.
Oh my god, Sora stabbing people
nice.
would have been amazing, but no.
Oh yeah,
that was never an option. Peace was never an option.
Yeah, they would have had to have her. Yeah, she would have had to be a character for that. Anyway, so Blade Quagmon was on the Digimon Axel Virtual Pet because, yes, I'm back on that virtual pet business again, and actually debuted back in 2005. So that's 16 years ago until we got it animated.
Keeping me awake.
I'm sorry.
I'm 30% kidding. It's fine.
But still, 30% kidding means 70% serious. That's how maths works, I think. Anyway, so one of the Blade Quagmon actually cuts Metal Greymon, which I don't know why, but I thought this was kind of cool. We actually had it's a knife. It kind of does what knives do, and it did a cut. And I was surprised by it because Digimon doesn't like to show damage. And then here we are having him get a cut on his knee, which it just looks like a bad paper cut, but it seemed pretty cool at the time.
I think we've all wanted
to
stab
really cool.
Greymon, at least a little bit.
I would like to
Taichi
stab
too.
Greymon right now. Please, could Taichi fall off? I don't even care if he dies. I just want Taichi to, really skin his knee for a minute.
Let's just get it out of the way. They're flying, vertically up this pillar of light. So
it's so bad.
It doesn't work. They're sat on the back of the Digimon. It's
we decided to write plot. How far in the distance were they when the pillar of light became visible and then didn't talk about it because they were dinosaurs?
I don't know. Maybe it's like the Rose Morningstar in Frontier, which I'm pretty sure was always there, but it's the opposite.
And the Beanstalk.
They already knew that Digimon fight for pride.
Oh, that Beanstalk.
Ogamon and Greymon did.
Yeah, we talked about all of this multiple times.
And we also saw Digimon doing... Oh, here it is. The Vor mention. We already had Digimon doing a Vor to survive, which is, they are fighting to survive, not fighting for good versus evil. So the characters did already know this. So I'm even more so on Tailmon's side about hey guys, can we stop talking about world building and just address the giant pillar in the room? It's just, yeah.
We have needed 20 more minutes of exposition about why we're going anywhere. What are we doing underwater? How did we get to not underwater? Why are we flying up a pillar? I don't know what we're doing or why.
They traveled very fast. And now we no longer have Marine Angelmon's blessing of go-away physics. Or maybe we do, because Taichi is literally vertical the entire episode. Which I posted a lot of pictures on the Twitter. But we just later on, when we have BlitzGreymon, we just have Taichi, who does not look to be standing on anything. He's doing a Spider-Man position, basically.
Yep.
And
while doing
I've been
like
watching
5
a lot
Gs.
Yeah, I've been watching a lot of, Spider-Man 3 Bully Maguire, edits into other movies that aren't Spider-Man. And I've just got Bully Maguire on the brain at the moment, so that's all I can think of, is just him, standing up against BlitzGreymon going, I'm going to put some dirt in your eye. It's just all I can think of. Anyway, so we have Kabuterimon evolving to Outlook Kabuterimon, and I'm pretty sure we have not seen this Digimon for, maybe 15 episodes. Mainly because we haven't seen Koshiro for about that long. I don't know.
Yeah, Koshiro has been around and talking about the ISS, and I guess we're going to get a little bit of plot from everybody over time now, but wow, have we kept talking about the ISS for a long time to just finish it with another round of our war game?
Yeah, basically, but at least this time, Yamato wasn't here.
Yeah, although we, God, Anthony's using it strange that there's a way. God. They're too funny. I'm tired.
Me too.
Why is this episode still happening?
Because we're only, we're less than halfway into the episode.
Yeah, my point is, whose fault is that now? Please.
No, we can do it. Okay, let's do it. So, we have Birdramon also evolving, and then we have Garudamon bursting into flames. And again, I just wonder how Sora's not burnt to a crisp. But anyway, Magic Orb Shield. It would be nice to see. I don't care, but I kind of want it. Then we have the children say that they're near the snipe point and they have 8 minutes left. But then we have Tailmon's Spidey Sense go off and something attacks them. And it's Blade Kuwagamon's boss, Metal Life Kuwagamon, who we have seen in the anime before. He was in Cross Wars, but was also in the Digimon.
Straight vertical flight. We should point that out.
Yes, also, we're vertical and Taichi should not be alive.
No, I'm realizing how much of a distance that is to go straight up for 20 minutes.
We could say that they're flying fast enough that gravity is doing a thing, but also...
That's even worse!
They're going very fast. They're going, it's at 9 Gs or something.
The faster they go, the worse it is. Anyway, it's fine. It's fine, let's move on.
Anyway, it's a science show. Anyway, so Metal Life Kuwagamon was also in the Digimon Accelerator Virtual Pet and also debuted in 2005. I care. Anyway... Metal Greymon becomes Ultras mode while fighting Metal Life Kuwagamon, but I don't know how 3 perfect levels appear to be struggling against this 1 perfect level. It just seems weird to me because Metal Life Kuwagamon is just a perfect level and they are also all perfect levels. Yeah, but that's also Metal Greymon...
They are gold. That's why they're more powerful.
We have Ultras mode, who is, I would presume, a little bit of a step above perfect. Anyway.
Not really.
Then we have Garudamon being cool and badass again because she gets surrounded by a huge horde of Blade Kuwagamon and tells Taichi and Koshiro to go ahead. And it's kind of like a brave moment for them. And then Garudamon continues to show that she's the strongest by obliterating 20 or more Blade Kuwagamon. So good on her for existing.
Yeah.
Then Metal Life Kuwagamon and more Blade Kuwagamon follow Taichi and Koshiro. And the satellite's still falling. Taichi's Digivice starts glowing. And then Taichi and Metal Greymon do the shonen thing about screaming about not giving up. And then Metal Greymon evolves to BlitzGreymon. But the animators didn't really feel like doing much today, so they kind of just have him move out of a red mess of colour. I don't know. And overall, it's a surprisingly dull moment for an evolution.
It's because BlitzGreymon's design is surprisingly dull.
Yeah, well, it's just red.
And it's not his episode, so he's just here. Why was this not Koshiro's evolution? We almost got it.
It is, yeah, it's like
Because there's no
the
time,
beginning of
a
it.
clock.
No, it's
and we
all
also have to
Tai
focus on Tai Chi. Yeah, basically. And, like, the moment feels like almost until, like, they bring out Break the Chains, more of a dark evolution, because there's just this lightning spewing from the Digivice, and there's this distorted fire and ominous music. And then we go into Break the Chain as soon as BlitzGreymon shows up with his colon smiley
so I think
face
this is
nose.
our first explicit, like, dark evolutions are just not a thing in this series, which I'm fine with, because the last one was not really a dark evolution so much it was just, you know, enraged and terrifying.
We've had Machinedramon and Skull Knightmon.
That's true,
Yeah.
although
I mean, Skull
Knightmon
Knightmon, I would say,
is way
is
more...
an evil.
Oh.
And like Shadow's Seraphimon was there as well.
Yeah, we do
forgot
have
about
dark
that one.
evolutions that were evil. But also Machinedramon, the evolution of Machinedramon wasn't complete. It was like...
Yeah, we
a
got the glowy
shadow?
thing that we got from Kabuterimon today.
Yeah, so I think maybe we're still going to get Machinedramon again, maybe? Because we need to have Tai Chi have another evolution.
Yeah, like I'm saying,
That's
I
fine.
think that we are going to start getting one-off evolutions for various, like, just, oh yeah, we need that for the situation. Because that's a thing Digimon should have had a long time ago. Oh no, we have a fire enemy. What if I evolved to be fireproof?
See, Frontier and 02 almost did that. Like, they did have, like, slight
They
evolutions.
almost
like,
tried
oh,
it.
I can't...
And this is the first one to say,
Yeah.
yeah, we don't need a gimmick. They can just do it.
Like, oh, this evolution's too slow, and I'm too strong, but not, and I'm very slow. I need
doing
to
Zoids.
go into my faster. Yeah, they're doing a Zoids.
Metal
Or,
Greymon
like, an
digivolved into a wall.
Yeah.
Basically,
Yeah,
with a smiley face on him.
A Metal Greymon digivolved into a Space Marine.
Yeah, a badly painted one.
Yeah.
It's just all
Yeah.
red. They just
Like,
dropped
just
a
the
red paint
laziest
on it. It was
40K.
done.
When you are painting an army of, like, look, I play Skaven, so I know all about, like, painting huge armies, but when you are painting, like,
Ooh.
700 clan rats, I'm just gonna paint them all brown and put, like, a splash of green on them, because I can no longer see colours
Yep.
or outlines. I'm not gonna detail each of them. And I've got a figure of BlitzGreymon on my desk, and it looks like they just dipped him in tomato paste. That's it. That's the design.
It's
just
the
like...
laziest mega.
It's also just very much like... I'm just going to pull him out. He's just like... The figure actually looks nicer than he does in the show. It looks less red and has more, like, metal bits on him. And also has hair. Like, in this episode, he looked like a robot. But on this figure, it just looks more like... What if Wargreymon had bigger guns and was red? Like, that's basically how it feels. And also has, like, big wings instead of just kind of, like, bug cape. Anyway, his design looked weird in this episode. I think it looked slightly different to this figure, actually. I don't know. This looks different for some reason.
And now why does Metal
Anyway.
Garurumon need to exist?
Well, we haven't had Metal Garurumon yet. We haven't had any other evolutions to make. And also, I don't think Yamato exists anymore.
No, he's still running in a desert somewhere.
Yeah, he's just having adventures, being alone, and a wolf.
Yeah,
I don't know.
like he was doing at the beginning of the series when we thought any of that mattered.
Yeah, he's gonna go talk to a tree, and the tree's gonna say, hey, do you want to kill Tai Chi? And he's gonna be like, what a concept.
Yeah.
Like, I hope that doesn't
Hey
happen,
now,
because that
what
was
a
silly.
concept.
I could also kill my best friend myself. Anyway, so... We have BlitzGreymon show up, and Koshiro says that this evolution occurred because Metal Greymon adapted when he evolved, which is really cool. And I'm like, it was a kind of a dull moment until Koshiro said that, which made it so much cooler, and I cared about it so much more when we decided to just say, oh yeah, by the way, remember how Digimon have those split paths like they do in the virtual pets? Yep, I'm on that business again.
I wish
it's
that
really
we
cool.
hadn't felt the need to foreshadow that for 20 episodes. I was talking in the server about
But at least
this. I wish that we had done just a time skip to the point at which everyone has already gotten up to Ultimate.
At least we're doing something. At least we're doing...
Yeah, but we took
Something
6
not-
months to get here.
Oh yeah, that is true.
I'm so mad. Digimon, you were so close to greatness. You were on the edge of greatness, turning darkness to light.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe we can do a thing. I don't know.
Okay.
Anyway, so Taichi tells Koshiro that he can continue on and get this done on his own and leaves it to him. And then Koshiro then, and goes back to the galaxy brain from the start of the episode, he thinks about how he used to talk about wanting to be alone, and he never really cared and thought to himself he was better to be alone, but now that he has Kabuterimon and the other chosen children, he can do it because he has everyone, and then Kabuterimon charges his attack, and then Koshiro's Digivice activates, and then we see a shadow of Hercules Kabuterimon, which I guess having a shadow appear is like a prerequisite for unlocking Mega. Like, the prerequisite for unlocking Perfect was, like, you have to have your Digimon glow for a bit, like, as a power-up. And now you have to have a shadow appear. I don't know, it's pretty cool, and it's nice that we're not, like, just jumping into an evolution like we sort of did in the original series and in a lot of Digimon series. We only have, like, okay, this Digimon evolves in this episode, so this whole episode will tell them why they have to evolve. This will be, like, their character development. So at least we're having, like, okay, Koshiro has some character development this episode, but we're not going to let him evolve yet. He's going to have a few more steps.
Yeah, little
Same
character
thing
development
for Hikari.
as a treat.
Yeah, like Hikari had it, like, a few episodes ago before we got to Angelmon. Yeah. We had a little bit of development there. She became almost a character.
Tai just keeps hogging the talking stick / the conch. It's fine.
He doesn't even let anyone else have it.
No, he doesn't. He's a jerk.
Yeah, basically. Taichi is a jerk.
Taichi, give up the goggles.
Like, this was very much a Koshiro episode. Like, I don't know
it
how
started
Taichi...
with Koshiro doing a literal galaxy brain.
And yeah, which is, yeah, basically. But I'm also just sitting here trying to work out, like, usually in Digimon, like, characters have to, like, evolve their own personalities to get an evolution. And in this it was sort of like...
You're here.
BlitzGreymon kind of evolved to adapt to the situation. There was no, like, Taichi didn't earn an evolution. They just sort of had to evolve.
Mega.
But
just like, we'll just do a different Mega.
Yeah, he got a second one before pretty much anybody else even... Has anybody else gotten one? I don't even remember if we have Garurumon yet. No.
We haven't gone to Mega for any other character. We haven't even... Wow. Yamato hasn't even
really been on screen in like 10 episodes. Remember when we said we were mad that it was the Tai and Matt show?
Now it's just the Tai show.
Uh-huh.
And Koshiro's also here, sort of.
Sometimes?
Sometimes, as a treat.
He has to say the words ISS once an episode.
Yeah, and something about satellites, and he has to go do a thought, and then he does the encyclopedia.
Oh my god.
I like
Issy.
Koshiro.
Just put a Y on the end and you get Issy.
Yeah.
Yeah, I get that. And that's the English dub knew the entire time. Anyway, so we have basically a shadow of Hercules Kabuterimon, which is super cool. And then the target that he shoots has all these Zurumon fallout, which I just forgot existed. And then the ISS is diverted and changes trajectory to 1,000 meters above Odaiba.
Nothing works this way.
Yeah, and it just fell into Tokyo Bay, and we're just
Momentum be like.
It happened. Yeah. Momentum, Tai. I tried. I'm very tired.
That's actually really funny.
Tired. The last shot of the episode is a nice scene where Taichi looks hurt and Sora's kind of holding him up, which, I don't know, it just is almost like a character of Sora. She's, like, caring about her fellow teammates, and it makes her look really strong and powerful. I don't know why I got that impression. I guess I'll take whatever they can sort of semi-give me.
Sora got a bit this episode. I just wish anybody but Tai had mattered.
Yeah, but it's never usually just Sora, though. It's always, like, Garurumon being the strongest for some reason, which is surprising.
Is just buff.
Yeah, I'm not complaining. Garurumon it's great that Garurumon is
shown
to just be a complete,
not
like,
your
powerhouse.
just, like, avatar as starts out pink and frilly and ends up just the buffest?
It was, like, look... Garurumon was always my favourite. I was just, like... Even as a kid, I was like, oh, that's so cool! Like, it's just... Like, what a glow up, honestly.
It's like, what? Why? You were a cute little bird before. Why would you... Anyway. Yeah, we were all exactly who we are now, all the time, because that's how time works sometimes. Sometimes we're all dumb.
Digimon happens.
Digimon is like Digivolve. 25 years old or something. It's not okay.
Yeah, basically, yeah. And then, of course, we get the Digimon Encyclopedia, where we have Koshiro introducing us to BlitzGreymon as being a subspecies of Greymon, and Koshiro says that BlitzGreymon is a very cool form, and then how, since that happened, Tentomon is mumbling that this is mighty brilliant, and then Koshiro says, one day you too, and I'm like, yes, please, one day you too also
nothing he's ever said in these has come true. He also hasn't asked about pillows, the little liar.
And also, what about, like, when we had the Garudamon's debut episode, and in the encyclopedia, Kabuterimon wanted to have long hair at some point too, like braids.
That would be so... God, Kabuterimon just going up into an Angemon form? Please.
Everyone needs their Angemon form, especially Lilymon. Like, imagine Angel Lilymon,
God.
Wouldn't be that different, just would have angel wings and a helmet, but very cute, very cool, very powerful. And I guess Leomon's not dead because we're finding all about Leomon next time.
What a spoiler.
Like, it could just be we find out Leomon's dead and then Izzy in memoriam is just like, okay, let's talk about Leomon. Leomon it's like his obituary or something, like he's just describing him like,
I won't be that. No,
reading his tombstone.
What's gonna happen is Leomon is gonna come back and will get killed by Millenniummon.
He went into a vortex. How is he coming back?
Well, he went into a vortex, and then Tai had a really good feeling that they'd meet again.
Oh, why? Why does Tai exist?
He's gonna bring an island with him. Remember when the island happened?
You can't spell
Remember when there was an
without
island that was controlled by Devimon, and we had to free him because we needed to find the Holy Digimon, who was Angemon, maybe?
And then we had to fall through the sky?
Yeah, remember when all of that was apparently vitally important to this show?
Remember when physics didn't matter? It still doesn't matter.
It still doesn't. It will never matter.
Alright, so now we're done with discussing the synopsis. Let's discuss the discussions. So what were our highlights? I won't mention virtual pets anymore.
Thank you.
Let's do our highlights without me saying virtual pets.
The giant pillar of light was a highlight.
Wow, literally highlight. Okay. I'm glad we did that.
I really liked this episode, surprisingly. I don't know.
Yeah, I thought this. I really liked this episode.
I'm
but
in a
I feel
weird
like
mood,
there's
and I don't know what I think.
It's a mood that is. I know the weird mood is a mood, but like I feel like I can't find much to complain about this episode, but at the same time, I don't have anything that's like.
I sort of like
extremely
every
exciting.
individual part and hate how they sewed them together.
Oh yeah, I mean, I don't like how it's like, it's a Tai Chi episode. I don't like how he's getting
I don't like that Tai Chi is in this series at this point. I wish that he had died and Kari had taken up the mantle or something.
This is Tai Chi's third evolution to Mega, fourth if you're including Omegamon, and nobody else has even got one. Like, we've had Hercules Kabuterimon.
We've had 2 episodes where we got to Omegamon. We've had, at least 2 where we did Wargreymon. This one, the attempt to go to
and we've had
Mugendramon.
Machinedramon.
Like,
yeah.
Wow, is this way too much Tai's show? Especially since Tai doesn't have a character or remember he has a mom.
He had so much of a character in the first episode.
He almost did.
I remember we loved his character in the first episode. Like, he was friendly. He wanted to make friends with Koshiro, which again we saw that scene in this episode.
That's just it. If we had actually committed to that and just done a time skip to kind of hear where the alternate evolutions start, and done a few flashbacks to like, oh yeah, remember when Leomon existed and rode an island into the ocean or something? That'd be all we need. Leomon, oh yeah, we met him once. Namon, oh yeah. Right, you know things.
Yeah, and all the Falcomon and
we
the
could've got like
Pekmon
30 more
Spidermon.
Episodes of good content if we'd done it right.
Yeah. I mean, I still have hope for this season. Like, I mean, I liked this episode. I liked how we had world building. I liked the fact we're doing separate paths. And that's all I can say about the separate paths, because I promised I wouldn't continue to talk about the topic I'm not allowed to talk about anymore. Anyway, I liked how we had some world building. I liked the fact that the characters were like, oh yeah, we have some battles that happen that aren't just good versus evil, and Talon's just like, shut up, we have plot. Like, I liked that. That was cool.
I really liked that Taichi got his Digivolution, but then still let Koshiro have his thing.
Yeah, I did like that, how he basically said, hey look, I'm not even here, I'm just here to do the fight. Koshiro, you can do the actual thing that we're here to do. And I like the fact that we had Koshiro
I think that this should not
some
have been
character.
an evolution episode. I think that everything should have gone pretty much the same, except Koshiro could have been the big damn hero.
I mean, if this episode could be exactly the same if Metal Greymon just evolved to War Greymon again.
Yeah, like, there
BlitzGreymon
was just
barely
no
happened.
reason for this to introduce a new evolution during the first time anyone else has gotten character in a long time. You just had to remind us that he's still important.
I mean, I did really like how we had Koshiro saying that he evolved differently because he had to adapt to the situation. That was kind of cool. I did like that. Mm-hmm. But I just, I don't know why we've had Taichi, as I said before, having 4, including Omegamon evolutions. It's mega.
Way too much.
We only have 30 episodes left of the, well, now we have 29 episodes left of the show, and at one point I remember saying, how could we get another 40 episodes from this show, and 10 episodes later I'm just like, okay, yeah, I can kind of see it now, like,
yeah, we're just gonna keep doing,
like, before it was
one-off evolutions and getting as many toys out of it as we can, I guess.
Yeah, like, one-off evolutions are fine, like, I'm honestly fine with that, but I feel like they should be spaced out a little bit more, especially when they're from the same person we just got a new evolution for.
Yeah.
I just want
you have toys from episode 1 you haven't played with.
Yeah, like, I'm really excited for the next episode. I won't say the episode title yet because I'll be saying that in the outro, but I'm very much excited for the next episode.
Yes.
For obvious reasons, judging by the episode title name. Very excited to that. But, again, like, I did like this episode, but I don't have that many, like, straight-up highlights.
Yeah,
like,
I
only
don't
a few
have
bits,
anything
like,
that
I
I'm
liked.
saying is particularly a highlight, and I guess I feel like I have a decent number of lowlights.
See, I don't think I have that many lowlights other than just like, oh gosh, why are we focusing on Tai again? I mean,
Yeah,
even
but
though
that's
we
a
at
big
least
one.
shifted the focus. Yeah. And also it's a big one for the entire season of just like, would be nice to focus on someone else. And yes, this episode, and I can see you people trying to start writing into YouTube, like, comments saying, oh, why are you so negative? It's not just the Taichi show. Yeah, I know, this episode at least focused on another character's character, and that being Koshiro.
But yeah,
I'm really glad, and I was...
To me, it felt
so
like a really
surprised.
invasive thing to have, like, someone else get time for 1 second, and then Taichi be like, wait a minute, hold on, I got this.
Yeah, like, coming into this episode, I was kind of worried because we got the teaser for BlitzGreymon last episode for this episode, and I was so worried, like, oh, Koshiro's showing up, but we're just having it be the Tai show again. We're getting him to have a new evolution. So I was actually surprised that the episode starts off with Koshiro and has Koshiro have a character development and is about to have an evolution soon. So that'd be really cool. So I'm not saying that it was 100% the Tai show today, but it was more the Tai show than it should have been, because it should have been Koshiro's episode. Like, how many other episodes of Digimon can you think of when we have the character's evolution special episode, which is their episode, that focuses on another character more than it focuses on the character that should be the center of the episode?
The last person to get this screwed by Digimon was also named Izumi.
Yeah, you're right. In her episode, she evolves, yeah, but then she doesn't even win her fight and has to get rescued by one of the other chosen children. It is weird. In an evolution episode, it should be, it's fine to focus on other characters, yes, but it should be like 70% the focus of the evolution, so it should be 70% Koshiro, 30% everyone else. But I feel like this was like 70, maybe 60 to 70% Taichi, and then like 20 to 25% Koshiro, and then 5% Tailmon telling them to stop world building. Like,
well,
that was
in
it.
fairness, Tailmon did tell them to please stop doing the same one note of world building of evolution exists.
Yeah, which they should have... Well, to be fair, Hikari's kind of new to this, and Takeru is kind of dumb, so
yeah,
I don't think it's that bad.
I mean...
Well, he's 8.
Look, he's a very hopeful boy, but is that hope earned? I mean, really?
He's kind of new to this. It's dumb hope. But I love him. I love Takeru. Like, he is my son. But at the same time, I'm not surprised that all of a sudden he's like, hey, I'm 8 years old, so I'm going to talk about something that I've already mentioned. I've just forgotten I mentioned it. Yeah. Like, that's fine. It's fine. Do we have any other highlights? Because we're still on highlights, apparently.
I'm still fine with this episode having a Taichi evolution, but that not being the focus.
Yeah, like it's fine
if you want to give him all of the Digivolutions, fine, just do it. But I'm glad, like, that was just not the main attraction of the episode at all.
Yeah.
It's like, who cares?
Oh, yeah,
who gets
definitely.
the evolution?
Yeah, like, I don't mind that much.
It's finally Koshiro's thing.
Well, Koshiro improved the evolution by saying that it had adapted to the area and had evolved differently because of it. Like, Koshiro fixed, like, a fairly, like, surprisingly dull moment, so I'm very much here for that.
The characters were only there because Koshiro was there. They were only there to spawn.
Yeah.
That's
and
the whole point.
How many words did Hikari say the entire episode?
4, maybe?
Who cares?
I think she screamed and Tailmon was like, don't worry, I'm here.
Yeah, because the second Hikari said anything, she was like, you know, Neko nail.
Neko punchy, yeah.
Neko scratch.
I love Tailmon. Tailmon is definitely a highlight in general.
Tailmon has the ability to just hypnotize anybody. Anyway.
Yeah. Anyway, any other highlights?
I'm good.
No?
Yeah.
Low light time?
There aren't that many, like, specific things. But, like, just, like, as things happened, I added on points.
Yeah.
So I was just like, okay, I'm enjoying this.
Yeah. Like,
I wish this had been a Koshiro and anyone else episode. And that, you know, even if... Like, that would have actually been interesting if it had been Koshiro Sora, and Sora got the evolution, but then Koshiro was the big damn hero. Like, now we've got an idea.
Yeah. Yeah, but then I think that...
You're
still taking away from then Sora's moment. And also you'd almost have to take away from Sora
You'd have
to
to
make
write it well
Koshiro
and make it about both of them. We could also have done both of them get a weird evolution. Like, we had many options that were not this.
Yeah, they just want to unlock the traditional ones first.
Yeah, but we've done all the traditional ones. But then again, we just have BlitzGreymon. And the variants.
We haven't got the mega levels for anyone but Tai, is what I mean.
Yeah, and who has 3. Like, we haven't even got Metal Garurumon, which is, again, it's something I like, is the fact that we're possibly doing Hercules Kabuterimon before we do Metal Garurumon.
That's true, maybe.
I think Koshiro like, needs to find another ISS and talk about it for the next 6 weeks first.
Yeah, I mean, that's
no
the
more
thing.
boat plots.
He's out of story for now until the next big thing goes wrong.
Oh, and also he keeps on fighting Kuwagamon evolutions.
Yeah, he sure does. Because I guess we like symmetry.
Yeah, which is fine.
It works.
It works. So lowlights, I don't, except for the weirdness of it feeling like it was more focused on Tai Chi than it should be.
And feel like they were poorly executed. I think saying, hey, yeah, that thing about evolution is fine, but actually, have you noticed that there's a giant pillar that is 10 miles tall?
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm so weirded out by, like, what the decision-making process behind any scene in this was.
Do you think? But bold of you to assume that there was any decision process at all.
RT if you don't think. There's so much. There's so much to unpack in this episode, and so much of it was meh. And to me, I'm like, maybe that shouldn't be passable anymore.
Like, I remember back in, like, the old days of the podcast, Jay would, often criticize the show by saying that sometimes it feels like they're just picking ideas out of a hat. And
it's not
sometimes
quite
I'm just
that.
like, yeah.
They have a plan, but it definitely felt like they sewed 2 episodes together and didn't do either of them quite well.
What if they're rolling dice? It's like, oh yes, okay, like one dice says like a character's name and the other dice says like something that happens. So they roll the dice, Tai Chi evolves. Oh no.
No,
and they keep on rolling that
Tai Chi
dice.
would not have
Why
evolved
do you keep rolling
4 times.
the dice that only has Tai Chi on it?
No,
yeah.
It does. No, it doesn't. It has other characters on the dice.
4 of the faces are Tai Chi,
maybe it says Tai Chi
and 2
like 3
of them
times.
are roll for someone else.
Yeah, like it's a 10-sided dice with 8 characters' name, but Tai Chi's there twice.
That would be there 3 times.
Wait, no, 3 times. Yeah, 3 times.
Yeah.
Like his
maybe
name
Koshiro
extends over onto other faces as well.
No, it's Tai and then she. It's the 2 kanji in his name. But it's which is just Tai and Line, I'm pretty sure. Like, I think the second kanji in his name is just the Line.
Yeah, it's just Ichi.
But what if, no, maybe Koshiro's also on there twice. But whenever they roll Koshiro's name, it's Koshiro Talks.
Yeah.
Koshiro Boat.
Yeah.
Koshiro. Why is Boat even on there?
I am still, like, mystified on how we changed the momentum of the satellite by blasting it hard enough with digital data that never touched it. Like, God,
it's very Pokemon physics
so
to make something blast off.
We're
you just
doing
have to
a
hit
Mega
it a
Man
little bit.
XA, and it's really not good.
Oh yeah.
Physics.
Any other lowlights? Lowlights, physics are lowlights, definitely. Like Taichi just standing vertically for like 20 minutes.
Uh-huh.
I'm sure there's some physics there. I don't see it. Especially when BlitzGreymon's just standing there, well, flying there rather. And Taichi's just like, as I said before, Spider-Manning it or something.
Yeah.
That's the only way that he could be standing like that.
And we certainly have a long conversation while Taichi is surrounded by evil bugs going, hey, no, seriously, leave me behind. I'm seriously proud of you. No, really, this is important. You need to know this.
Yeah.
Like, what a long conversation between
Koshiro
attacks.
needed that.
That was very cute.
No,
but also
I
they're
just
very
wish we
polite
put in,
attacking
like,
bugs.
more footage of Taichi battling anything before we just stopped combat to have this conversation.
That is
Time
fair.
is
They're
an
very
illusion.
polite. Physics and time
No,
are
I
both
know.
The
illusions.
episode only had 17 minutes left, and Koshiro said, we've got 20 minutes left.
Yep.
Time is an illusion. Well, maybe evolutions are quicker. The Agumon evolution, rather. Everyone else's evolutions are real time, but the Agumon evolutions may be, like, I don't know, quicker in real life.
Time's made up.
Anyway, time is a concept. Any other lowlights?
I'm tired of timers. Stop it. This is like the third or fourth time you've done it, and they suck.
Yeah, that is true. At least we didn't have a Megamon this time.
There was no
Never again.
Terriermon or Lopmon in this episode, so it was not very good.
That is true. A Lopmon being there is like a sign of a good plot.
Mm-hmm.
And so is a Plotmon, but Plotmon hasn't shown up yet. Just Tailmon.
I'm so sad that Plotmon never gets time.
Me too. I think Plotmon shows up once in the original and then
I
never
wish the
again. It's
Plotmon
really
would
sad.
show up.
I like Plotmon.
Yeah, I like Plotmon. And I like the plot.
Wow.
Anyway, speaking of characters that we like,
No, I've still
What
got
are
one
your
more
fav-
lowlight.
you've got one more lowlight. Okay,
Yeah.
let's do a lowlight.
They got struck by lightning, and because they couldn't be bothered animating it, no one even flinched. They were just like, oh, this lightning's real bad, huh?
Every episode, Garudamon bursts into flames and Sora is fine. So I'm fine with them
Yeah.
being electrocuted
It's just-
and shrugging it off.
It's just a shot of Bertramon being hit by lightning and just doing nothing. She
Well,
just
we had,
doesn't
like-
react.
Didn't, like, everyone attack at once into Metal Greymon and while Taichi was riding Metal Greymon?
Yes,
like, 10
they all
episodes
shot
ago?
into the enemy's mouth while Tai was there, and he just went, grah. Also, I apologize.
think
I am
it's
being
just-
a little down this week, more than maybe the episode deserves, but God, this week sucked. And sometimes it be that way.
This week, the week, not this week as in the episode.
Yeah. The rest of my life has been terrible this week, and also Digimon was only okay.
Yeah. But I hope that you're going to pick a character that's like a character and not just a concept as in
Just
the
pick
asbestos
giant pillar of light.
rainforest.
Pick the giant
Or
pillar
the
of light,
author
Quinn,
of-
you know you want to. Pick it.
No.
Pick the pillar of light.
I
So-
think it
do
is
it.
better
Are
than
we
that,
moving
but
on to
not by a lot.
Are we moving on to favourite characters?
Yeah.
Sure.
Okay, mine was Koshiro because of of course it was. Taichi had no character, and Koshiro actually had a character and also floated through space and was a galaxy brain. So I'm just going to pick Koshiro. Evie, do you know who you were picking?
I want to hear Quinn's pick first.
Okay, we're Quinn.
I guess Tailmon for being the best animated and kinda snarky and acknowledging that we're just talking about random things to Chekhov's gun evolutions again.
Yeah, and also, why is Tailmon always consistently the best animated?
Because Tailmon is all
'Cause she's a
white,
cat.
and we don't have to animate
That is
Goku's
true.
hair this way.
Yeah, cats are
But
very
also-
easy to draw.
But you'd think Agumon is easier to draw and
Yes,
is also
but
just a one
This
color.
character doesn't need any shading or really any lines, and everyone can draw
I don't think-
an anthropomorphic cat because everyone who works on
I think
Digimon
that-
is a furry.
I think Agumon has no shading or color.
But
Like less
like,
detail in Tailmon.
has like teeth and claws
Yeah,
and stuff.
but Agumon
But
doesn't fight.
And also, every time we see Agumon drawn, I'm pretty certain his proportions are different.
Yeah.
Like, his head is consistently changing in size.
Yeah, like...
And that's the only thing consistent about
Tailmon
it.
is the easiest to get on model, the smallest, and we can show off how incredible the new leader of the team is. Now that it's apparently not even a chosen child. It's just Tailmon, who is the only person who actually remembers the plot.
Yeah. So, Evie, who are you picking as your favourite character?
I should pick Koshiro, but I am going to pick the Giant Pillar of Light.
You know what? That's
Because I'm
Okay.
going to call back to it every episode whenever you both go topic. It should be like, Giant Pillar of Light.
I'm here
That is
for
fair.
it.
I like that.
If
I'm
the
here for that.
episode
That
had
is-
been
that
a
is
little
good.
worse, I would have done it.
That is fair. That is fair.
Do we know why the giant
What
pillar
about-
of light
Easy to get
exists
back on
at
track
all?
now.
Is it just a giant pillar of light? Was it always there?
No, they said it formed after, like, two very powerful Digimon were fighting.
Oh, right, the thing that had
Something like
nothing to
that.
do with Millenniummon. This thing's just here. Okay.
Yeah, sometimes Digimon just fight, not for good versus evil, but because they want to fight.
Okay, I just forgot that formed the pillar of light. I just thought that's what formed the fossils.
I have no idea how it formed
Yeah,
the Pillar
none of
Light, but
that.
that's how I
That
read
doesn't
that.
hold up either. Digimon is
That's some physics.
Uh-huh.
We're just
We're
we're
just gonna
inventing
follow
physics
the beam.
week by week.
and it'll be fine.
That's fine. Rating. How are we rating this episode? I watched this episode and then thought that I rated it too high, but judging by the discussion, I think that my rating was actually fairly accurate. I gave it a 3.5.
Yeah, I'm gonna go 2.5.
Evie, what are we?
Oh, sorry.
2.5? Okay. Yep, I'm running in the 2.5. Evie?
I'm giving it a 4.
That's fair. A 4 is good. And that means it equals out the overall ranking, so I'm here for that. That means that the score is 10. What else got a 10? Episode 13 got a 10. And episode 13 was Garudamon's evolution episode. And yeah, I think this episode was better than that. I don't know why I gave that episode a 4. I think I was wrong. I must have really liked something in that episode. Anyway, so that means in our overall ranking, what do people say that this episode was better than episode 13 or worse?
I
would
guess
say better.
Better, yeah, that's fine.
Yeah, I would say better. So I'm going to throw it in there once I grab the episode title, which I have lost. There we are. It is in 21st place, so kind of a little bit in the middle. Which is fine. I put it in 27th place in my own personal rating there, so that means it was underneath episode 26, Break Through the Sea Monster Barricade. I really liked that episode. And above episode 24, The Final Stage, Done Devimon. I feel like this episode could have probably gone higher, but I really do remember liking episode 26, and that also got a 3.5, so that's why I've put it there. Evie, where are we putting episode 36?
I'm just doing some maths. Okay, put it in 11th place for me.
11th place, so that would be between episode 6, The Targeted Kingdom, and episode 8, The Children's Siege.
Yep. It's one of my lower
That is-
fours.
Yeah, but that is still a good place. So in 11th place, and Quinn, where are we putting this episode?
Let's see, between 4 and 24, so lower middle.
4 and 24. I don't even know where I'm looking.
Excuse me, 4 and 24, like, maybe 10 from the bottom.
Ah, yes, I see it.
Okay.
Yep, so that is in... What place is that? That is in the same place that I've put it in mine. Both Quinn and I have it in 27th place. So, just to recap, 27th place for Quinn and myself, then Evie has it in 11th place, and then overall we have it in 21st place. So yes, that is where we've ranked that episode, and with that we can move on to questions. But before we do so, do we have any miscellaneous thoughts about the episode that we didn't discuss earlier?
I like Koshiro.
Yeah.
He's good.
I wish I felt like the ISS plot and the Millenniummon plot were, like, related in any way except, like, oh no, Black Lightning happens. And that's, I guess, my biggest complaint about what's going on.
I think there's some silly thing like Millenniummon's trying to cause
Yeah,
chaos.
like there is a causal connection between the two. It just feels like they're completely separate events because they have been this entire time. Oh no, boats is still basically what we're doing, except we got a bigger boat.
Yeah.
At least Koshiro's back in the group.
It's
Oh
true.
yeah, I do like that.
I'm looking forward to Mimi.
I'm really looking forward to Mimi as well.
Maybe we'll be fine.
Hopefully better than fine. So on to the questions this time. First up, we have Red Ranger Mon on YouTube, who says the last 2 episodes have been one of the most fun-filled episodes of the reboot so far, and it gave them Kingdom Hearts monstrous stage and Disney vibes. Then the food they ate was so colourful, the music so bubbly, and they felt like a kid again. And yeah, I agree. And I feel like when I really enjoy an episode of Digimon, I feel like it makes me feel like a kid again. Yeah. I remember when I first watched the first episode of Atmon, I felt like I was almost like, 8 years old watching Digimon for the first time, really bubbly, really excited to watch this new shonen. I wanted to dive into the future. I was really excited with the whole thing. So I feel like whenever Digimon's good, it should make you feel like you're a kid again. It should awaken that inner child that you have as a sad adult. And that's why I like Digimon. And then we have Daniel, who says, asks, anyone else tired of seeing just what Tai and the others are doing? They want to know what Mimi, Joe, and Yamato are doing as well. And yeah, less so Yamato. I feel
Yamato
like
can just never come back.
Yeah, I don't want to have the Taichi and Yamato show, because as soon as Yamato comes back, I'm worried that's what we'd get. So if we don't get Yamato, just to delay the inevitable Taichi and Yamato show come back again for more Omegamon, I don't know. I just don't want any more of that. So I'm fine with not seeing what Yamato's doing. But Mimi, I'm really excited to see what she's doing. I guess we're getting that next episode, and Joe soon, hopefully too. So yeah, I would like more of that. So it is nice that Sora's at least part of this group. It's not just Taichi and Hikari and Takeru. It's good that there's Sora as well, because at the start of the show there wasn't that much Sora, and now we're actually getting Sora. We still don't have much of a character, but we have Garudamon being surprisingly strong, so whatever. Next we have Prince Adam, who says that it was a fun episode to listen to. When Tailmon was talking about what happened to her after the war, it showed her as an egg. So they thought that to mean that her egg was corrupted, like they tried to do with Patamon. So Skull Knightmon came from that, but Tailmon's holy soul watched on, trapped in her new metal body as she lost her mind to darkness, maybe. And yeah, I would say that's what happened. If that's what they tried with Patamon, it'd be a logical guess that would be what they did to Tailmon. Then they continue to say that regarding Devimon being an old friend, given how much of a nothing character Devimon turned out to be, they really believe it was just Millenniumon speaking through him, and the old friend is the ironic enemy banter trope. I don't want that. I want it to be Devimon was also one of the holy Digimon, but was corrupted because of Millenniumon or something. That's what I'm still really holding out for. Next up we have KG James, who says they like Tatmon, but they can't get past being annoyed that there's this whole aquatic adventure that Gomamon isn't even there for. It's his one specialty. And yeah. I would agree, but also I feel like that would make him too overpowered, because Gomamon is strong and I love him. But also then we'd have to focus on Gomamon and give him an
we'd have to
evolution,
focus on someone other than Tai.
Yeah, basically. Next up, we have Barbara saying that they love how Tailmon slowly was turning evil, and also asks how long has that satellite been falling. And it's kind of like the show kind of said, time happens weirdly in these two different worlds.
We mentioned time dilation once way back in episode 4, and I'm past the point where I'm willing to let that keep doing heavy lifting if we're not going to occasionally do something with time dilation besides have everything be seemingly synchronous.
Basically.
Yeah. It's synchronous anytime that Koshiro needs to hear the news.
Yeah. Which is, I kind of like him as a sort of he gives us the news. I'm kind of glad that we get that update. But maybe that's over now, because he's part of the group again, hopefully. I'm not sure how long for, because...
Yeah, we've gotten the gang back together twice now, only to...
Oh, more than twice. I feel like we get reunited and separated, every, 10 episodes.
Oh, yeah, no, I just meant, times we've had... all 6 or 7 people in a room.
Remember,
Summer
at
camp,
one point, Koshiro was just floating through the net. Remember? When we first went to the digital world?
Yep.
He was just... And Sora and Taichi were hanging out?
Yep. Yeah, remember when Taichi was the last one to find out about the digital world, and then nothing happened with that?
Yeah, that was a thing.
Remember when Mimi had a family?
Next we have... Yep. Remember when Mimi existed?
Yeah.
Remember when Taichi's mum had a family? She doesn't. Next we have Alpha Marigi, who says that Sora and Taichi's dynamic has been so good these past 7 or so episodes. And I would agree, like,
it's been
I'm just glad they're doing something with Sora.
Yeah. I wish Sora
Next
were
we
active
have...
in making any of the decisions.
Yeah, same, to be honest. But at least she fights good.
Yep.
And that's what matters. That she hits real good and hits real hard. Next we have Kill It With Fire, who says that when Sora made the comment that she didn't want Beamon to evolve to avoid presenting a bigger target, they were a little disappointed that Greymon didn't seem to suffer any problems with the Jacurimon.
Well, yeah.
I would argue he did, like, initially. Like, he kept on walking into the mines, but it only was there for, like, a minute.
Yeah.
I'm guessing because he walked through them all. They said that they're on board for using the show that Taichi is impulsive and that Sora was taking the time to be a bit more strategic, but if Greymon doesn't suffer any adverse effects from doing the exact thing Sora cautioned Beamon against, it doesn't make Taichi look reckless, it makes Sora look wrong. I think that it did sort of hurt him a little bit with the Jacurimon.
I mean, but barely.
Yeah,
that is,
I see your point.
If you're gonna warn against that and show one character as being prudent, you need to have the character who charges ahead anyway have a significant negative consequence and need something, need help, not just, it turns out, don't be cautious. That was stupid.
And I mean, also, this episode had the same sort of thing. We had Agumon evolve to Greymon, and then Koshiro sort of say, hey, wait, and then Taichi saying, but we don't have time to just think about things, which... Taichi had a point.
I mean,
the show doesn't have serious negative consequences for any of the characters beyond separating them, and that's not bad for the characters, that's just bad for us watching.
Yeah, that's true. Joe has been significantly better off since he was separated.
Yeah, I kind of wanted them to stay separated because then we could have crowd.
You can't trust that Taichi.
Yeah, that's true. And then they continue to say the silhouette for, I guess this week's episode now terrifies them. They get the impression that Koshiro's pet project for the past arc is going to be resolved by Taichi getting a second mega before anyone else gets there first.
Yep.
They really don't want it to go back to the Taichi show, especially since they don't think the writer's doing a particularly great job with them. And they wonder if they're letting the encyclopedia affect the plot too much, as we need to have a significant Digimon to talk about every episode. And since we've run out, we have to generate said Digimon in the same episode we talk about in the encyclopedia. This week's episode continued the trend of a... Yeah, that is a good point. They say that this week's episode continued the trend of above average episodes, but they see enough red flags that they feel like next week will end that pattern, and they hope they're wrong. I would say they're wrong because this episode wasn't terrible. It wasn't like really. It wasn't like
it's not a winner for me, but it is neutral to good. But next week has to go a different direction, a positive direction.
Yeah,
because this was a reduction in quality, and I hope that we're not just falling into another doldrum.
I was also very worried about this episode. Like, I had no expectations, and I feel like this episode was better than I expected it could have been. But I was also very pessimistic about it. And also about the encyclopedia, like, I'm hoping that Leomon's not in the next episode. They just are going to talk about him in, like, past tense. Like, we have to remember that is also a possibility. They could just be... Like, in Pokemon, we did Who's That Pokemon?
To show up long enough to die.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, he could just show up and then immediately die. We find out that he did actually die or something. But it is not an impossibility that we just have Koshiro just saying, hey, Leomon showed up at one point. I don't have anyone to talk about today, so I'm going to talk about Leomon.
I would certainly like that.
That's not impossible. Yeah, and it means that we're not just saying, hey, this Digimon was in an episode, let's talk about them. Remember, for the longest time, we were just doing Digimon that were evolving that episode, or what have you, which was always like, oh, I guess so-and-so's evolving this week because we're finding out all about them next time, which is also BlitzGreymon kind of changed that because usually it was like, next week we're going to talk about Togemon because Lilymon's going to debut. This time, instead of it was, we're talking about this Digimon because, I don't know, it was just different. But anyway, next we have TGS, who says that they weren't seeing the Skull Dark Knightmon for the Tailmon line at first. You know, the cat that turns into a dog, then a cat, then an angel, then a dragon angel or a bigger angel. But the outline of Dark Knightmon looked very similar to a Phanimon, with both having vaguely similar spheres, and a Phanimon being armoured and having a shield makes her kind of look like a knight. I guess I see that. Like, I didn't really think about that, but that is, yeah, that's fine. Next we have Connor, who says that they're a little disappointed they didn't have Patamon regain his memories by seeing Angelmon, just like how Lotmon regained hers seeing Wargreymon. I'm kind of glad that didn't happen because then we would.
Memories. Sorry.
Yeah, I don't want Angelmon to be back soon because that just means we'll stop seeing Pegasusmon for one thing, I think. And I like Pegasusmon.
I don't think we would because it's easier to ride Pegasusmon.
Yeah, true.
Ooh.
Next we have VVV, who says if BlitzGreymon really shows up, it's already a great episode no matter what anyone says. I like their enthusiasm.
Yep.
Because they must like BlitzGreymon.
Yeah, that's fine.
Which is fair. Next we have Child Emperor, who says that Izzy's legs dangling off Kabutomon's head was kind of cute to see. Usually he sits with his legs crossed, so it was interesting to see him sitting in a different position. That is a good point, because that means it's not just stock animation that they have. They actually drew him in a different way, and I like that. We then have Cute's Rule, who says that seeing the characters fighting in the water kind of irked them. They don't seem to get wet, since they are shown back in Komodomon Protection Dome all dry, but still, just imagining them with wet socks is bleh. Wet socks are terrible, and I would agree, but I think that their hand-waving of Marine Angelmon did away with physics for that episode kind of explains that, which is fine, but yeah, you're right, wet socks are terrible. Next we have Ritza, who says that seeing Takero being on the lookout was just plain adorable. He's so precious. But how high is Komodomon's head? Takero easily jumped off it and landed on his feet like it was nothing. That should have hurt his feet a little. What do you guys think? I think that they were underwater, so I think that there was still some physics. But also, there were also no physics.
This was the time that the physics mattered.
When
there
Marine
were no
Angelmon has
sets of
selective
footprints
physics.
on the beach, that was when the physics mattered.
Yeah. Next we have Lioli, who says that their theory is that the Rise were rushing to get all 8 children introduced, that they didn't build characters for them, which is why, now that Hikari and Tailmon have joined, the episodes are better. Maybe. Then, lastly, we have Seth that says that they've noticed the new version of the theme too, which is the bubbly background music that we had at the start of the last episode. They said it really added the feel to the episode, and they loved it. They were fine with the Marine Angelmon stuff, and that they've seen that holy types can give buffs before, so the explanation just kind of worked. And so that's it for the questions. And do we have any other discussion points before we go to the outro?
I don't think so.
Well, let's wrap this up.
Let's wrap this up.
Alright everybody, so thanks for joining us for another episode. Next time we'll be covering episode 37, Mimi-chan Wars, which I'm super excited for because just by that title, it's just like, we've got Mimi is doing a battle, there's something that's happening.
Yep.
I'm here for this, I hope it's good, I'm worried.
Yeah.
I'm worried that it's going to be bad because I'm on expectations, but like...
I'm worried we're going to Saber
Mimi
Leo on it.
Possibly live up to either of your expectations.
I mean, I think that all of the Mimi episodes have previously been given 5s by me. Yeah, I've got episode 6, 5 out of 5 for me. Episode 12 was a 5.
No,
episode
I'm hopeful.
16,
the
which
issue
was more or
is
less
that
a Mimi episode, was
we've had some good
4.75.
Mimi episodes followed by a bunch of terrible episodes. So.
Oh no, I'm worried now.
Yeah.
I've read the synopsises for the next 4 or 5 episodes, and they sound not terrible. And I always read those sort of brief plot outlines they give, which are just sort of very dull blurbs, very quick. And all of them have sounded terrible, but this next chunk of episodes actually sounds good. So that's a thing. I remember reading the chunk of episodes, which was just episode 31 to 35. I was like, oh, these episodes all sound so boring.
Yep.
But then I gave 4 5 out of 5s in a row, and before that row of 5s, I gave a 4.5. So, yeah,
we'll see.
Definitely, those reviews have always not been as exciting as the actual episodes, even with the bad episodes. So I'm weirdly hopeful for the next chunk of episodes. I don't really have many predictions because the outlines don't give that much information away.
I'm hoping for an evil tree.
But there are... Yeah, you want Yamato to try to kill Taichi?
I'd like someone to kill someone.
I would like Mimi to just be a Yakuza boss and have
remember
Bancho
when we had
Lilymon.
Queen
That's
Mimi?
all I want.
We should just make Queen Mimi happen again. But
well, this time she's a Yakuza boss.
Yeah.
Maybe someone makes a joke that oh, Queen Mimi, and now she's like, no, not Queen. You call me Aniki now, and I would be just oh, this is the Mimi that I've always wanted. This mob boss Mimi.
I'd be pretty down for it.
Please call her Aniki, please. I mean, I know that means, like, big brother, but still. Like,
Oneki.
maybe she only knows things from movies, and, like, even though, like, I don't know, it would be cool. Yeah. I don't know. I have a lot of feelings for the possibility of an evil Yakuza boss Mimi, or just, like, chaotic good Mimi. I don't think that'll happen, but, you know.
I mean, chaotic good Mimi already exists, but yes.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, Try Mimi was kind of chaotic good.
She sure was.
She sure was. She was like, everyone's going to be cheerleaders because I say so. Yeah, that was great. She was like, I've showed up to the battle like half an hour with gummy bears. Like, half an hour late, rather. Any other predictions? I'm just excited. I'm
going to be tired again.
Oh, no.
It's going to go away from Mimi a lot, I think.
Yeah, I'm super looking forward to Mimi.
I hope it's a Mimi episode and not just like, hey, Mimi's here, but also Taichi.
Yeah, no, I think this time it's we're gonna do the Saber Leomon Mimi gathers an army thing, and maybe that'll matter. But at one point, Leomon had already gathered an army, so we're kind of back to where
I don't
we
even know
started.
if Mimi's aware that Millenniumon exists.
She has maybe been called.
They've kept them updated over like Zoom call.
Yeah. Koshiro does have the ability to zoom everyone regardless of what world they're on or how the time dilation works. Handy.
And we have had a few like clips where we've just seen them hanging out on the Komodamon and just giving exposition to Joe, Yamato, and Mimi. So I wouldn't be surprised if she knows about Millenniumon, but remember, nobody was there for Devimon except for Takeru, Taichi, and Yamato.
Yeah, so she doesn't know about any of that. I guess she really doesn't know much about the Holy Digimon.
No, that they filled.
I mean, they filled
Mimi
in,
and
but they're. I don't know. She should be wilding on this way more than she is.
Yeah, but she doesn't care because she's started a fight club.
Yep.
Alright, so the link dump's in the description, and so is our Redbubble. You can contact us and stay updated. You can email us at LostinTranslationmon@gmail.com and keep up with the spam, I guess. Or you can comment on this episode or message on our website, LostinTranslationmon.com. You can also follow us at TranslationMon on Twitter and on LostinTranslationmon on Tumblr, Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube. And if you want to have your thoughts read out on the podcast, just send it through to this episode on YouTube and we will be able to read it out for you. And we have a discussion thread on With the Will and one in the Digimon subreddit as well. And we'd appreciate if you review us on Apple Podcasts, Stitcher, and any other podcast listening app that you use. And we'll also read out the rating on the podcast. Because we haven't had one of those for a while, and it's super great when we do. You can also donate to on Patreon, which is linked in the description, from as little as $1 a month. And that gets you access to a listed Discord server, but there are higher levels, more rewards, such as notes, early episodes, raw episodes, and more. And thank you to our current supporters on Patreon, Joe, Stephen Reeves, who's Swalway64 an archive of our own, Kaidawashi, Chisai, who can follow on Twitter at Chisai236, Kyle, Lizmet, who's a Lekmon on Tumblr, Nicholas, Marimon, Sam, Anthony, Keith from Gone While Hunting, a Hunter Rewatch podcast, Silverhead Freak 25, Magnus, Lucas, Blindman, Japhus, and Patrick. And if you want to just make a one-off donation, you can find our PayPal, which you found in the description. It's paypal.me/airdramon, or you can donate to me on my Ko-fi account, ko-fi.com/airdra. And, of course, thank you for joining me to Quinn and Evie. And Quinn, where can we find you?
Yeah, I guess you can find me on the Twitters again, if you want to. I am still at RealYubico. Or you can find me on the Discord, which is where most people find me.
Yay!
And at some
also
point,
your Twitter
I may be working on a new podcast, but that'll be a while.
Hey! But also your Twitter is where you can find many fire tweets, which I often retweet on both my personal and my actual, the Lost in Translation on Twitter, which is my main Twitter account, really. And Evie, where can we find you?
On the Moncast, and very, very rarely on Twitch.
Yay! And of course, thank you to the listeners for listening, because otherwise it would just be 3 people just talking and not sleeping and talking about Digimon, and that's about it. So thank you for listening, which is really great. So thank you for that. Anyway, so we'll see you all on the next one. Bye!
Bye!